Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today, we have another show for you. Will my ex get jealous if I date again? This is similar to what I talked about yesterday, if you didn't catch the stream. But this was motivated by a comment I got on yesterday's live stream. And in a moment, I'll share that comment with you, which was pretty colorful, if you will. Will my ex get jealous if I date again? Does it seem obvious? There are some people that go, "Oh, do you think they would get jealous?" You'd probably know better than I do because you know their character. Jealousy is one of those things. I think all human beings have a certain level of jealousy. It's a human thing. The level of jealousy will definitely vary person to person. But I have a list of things on the side here that would answer the question, will my ex get jealous if I date again? Number one, as I said, would be, well, it would really depend on their character, right? Are they a jealous person naturally? Is that who they've always been? If that's the case, I'm just pulling up this comment real quick. If that's the case, well, then most likely they're going to be jealous. They're going to get jealous, right? So don't be surprised. Oh, do you think they'd get jealous? Are they the jealous type? Oh, yeah, they get really jealous. Okay, well, then it wouldn't change when they're apart from you. Now, it seems that one of the big factors in how jealous an individual will get, where are they in their life right now? This isn't the same for everyone, right? When they broke up with you, were they flying high? Did they get a promotion? Are they in a really good place? Did they just start hitting up the gym? Did they change their look? Have they been getting a lot of attention recently? This would factor in on them being jealous with you, because if they're in a really good place, they have a lot of options, or they're seeing other people already, they still would actually get jealous, because if they were with you long enough and they loved you and they had a relationship with you and you were their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partner, what have you, then they're going to be affected by it. Will they act on it? Again, that comes down to character, right? But where they're at in life now would definitely provide a place or a platform for them to get more upset or less upset. And there are some out there that be like, you know what, I'm happy for John, or I'm happy for Sally. I'm really happy they found someone. You know when that happens? You know when someone goes, oh, I'm really happy for them, I hope you're doing well. That usually means, notice I use the word usually because nothing's 1,000, 100%. There's always exceptions to every rule and percentages. If that's the case, they have someone else they're seeing. They have someone else they have eyes on. They have someone else they're interested in. For them to be happy for you, most of the time that means that they're also happy that they're into something new. Doesn't mean they're head over heels, just means they have something else cooking. People want you to feel what they feel. I've said this before. I think it just rolls off. Oh, yeah. It's very true in most cases when someone makes suggestions to you or backs you up, right? Someone that is in a marriage, even if the marriage is bad, I've noticed this, even if they have kids, even if they're in a marriage, they have kids, they still might tell you, oh, don't ever get married. You've heard this from people before. Don't ever get married because now their marriage is miserable. But really, when they first were getting married and things were good, I've had friends like this. When are you going to get married, man? When are you going to have you popped the question yet? You know, and they start bringing up stuff like, well, you know, she's going to start being upset that you haven't married her yet. But then when their marriage goes bad, shit hits the fan, things aren't good, it's like, don't ever get married, man. Right? People want you to agree with them. And so if your ex-partner gets wind of you dating someone, they're like, oh, I hope everything's great and grand. I'm really happy that you met someone else. Translation, I've met someone else. Or I'm interested in someone else. If that's not the case, it's great. It means they're highly secure with everything. But most of the time, that's what that means. Number 4, will my ex get jealous if I date again? Do they know the person? Big question. That's a big question. Do they know the person? Because this is actually very common. If it was someone you worked with, and I'm not saying it has to be your friend. It's someone you know that was in their sphere of influence or circle group, someone they worked with. And a lot of times if someone starts dating someone right after a breakup, it usually is someone that they knew from work or friends. It's not like they just picked up someone, right? Someone, if they quote unquote monkey branch is the term now, or quote unquote rebound, which is a different thing, they probably had someone that was from work or someone from the past. It wasn't like they just met the person the next day after the breakup. It's possible, but extremely unlikely. And so if you find out it's someone you know, I think that bugs the hell out of people more. They're less likely to go, oh, I'm really happy for them, because they're like, oh, really? That asshole. Or, oh, I was wondering why she was always mentioning Todd from work over and over again. People, I was thinking this earlier today. I was on a walk on the beach earlier this morning. By the way, Phuket, Thailand is absolutely gorgeous right now. I wish I could share it with people a little bit more often. Just beautiful. Sorry to tell you, folks. Emerald Sea, gorgeous out. I'll put some pictures on the Discord. But I was walking, I was thinking, if you want to have a skill that really helps you understand people overall better, just listen. Just really, 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 really listen on how they shape their opinions and they make comments, because it's a roadmap to who they are. It really is. It really is. And so after you break up, if you get wind that she is seeing some guy from work, you usually know, damn, she mentioned that guy a few times, and I thought to myself, wow, that was about 5 times too many, and she thought he was really funny. You weren't wrong. You weren't wrong. It doesn't mean she acted on it or cheated on you, but the interest was there. And I just recently had a family member that had a breakup. I talked about this in another live stream, and and it was funny because we're talking, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't have any back burners right now." And I was like, "What? What do you mean back burners?" And she's like, "Well, back burner." And I'm like, "What do you mean a back burner?" And to be honest, I don't think this is a quote unquote internet term or anything like that. I think she just kind of made it up while we were talking. She was in a 7 to 8 year relationship. She's not happy about the breakup. A lot of things went on. But what she meant by that was there's not someone in the background that I've been kind of flirting with that has interest with me, that I've been cat-pawing around. I usually have a couple of those. Right now I don't have any during this breakup. And I was kind of like, she didn't say it in those words, but that's basically what she meant. And I'm like, God damn it. Right? Isn't that the case, though? I think that's the case in a lot of breakups that don't involve problems such as addiction or abuse. When there's a relationship and someone goes, yeah, I didn't see it coming, and someone's been hanging out with single friends or hanging out a lot with people at work and mentioning them, and they're hanging out with groups, that are single and ready to mingle. when you break up, it's not surprising that when you hear about them, with someone else quite quickly, especially in people in their 20s. And they'll always go, yeah, I remember her saying, I should have the guy on. I was thinking about this. He's in his early 20s. And he was, first love. They were together 4 or 5 years. They're in college. They're like an hour or two apart. I mean, they love each other so much, da-di-da-di-da. They go through the breakup over a year, off and on, off and on. She mentioned that while they were broken up on one of these off and on periods, that she was dating this other guy. But it was nothing. It was more like a double date that she did a friend a favor. He finds out years later, because they broke up, no contact, didn't talk for a long time, but then they reunited later on, that she actually was going out with that guy. So she lied. Point blank. And he was like, I just believed her when she told me that. Where there's smoke, there's fire a lot of times. And so if someone says they're not that jealous, there's a good chance. Now here's the other one. Will my ex get jealous if I date again? Are they better looking? Especially when it comes to women. I've had numerous women that are of different character, different personalities go, yeah, it matters. It matters. Jinx, I don't know if you're a female or a male, because Jinx could be unisex. Jenny, do you think it matters in your life experience? Just to be honest, hon. If you have an ex, you find out they're dating someone else, first of all, do you think you would be jealous? Second of all, does it count if you feel like the person they're dating is better looking than you? And here's the thing. People will be like, oh, looks don't count and this and that. I'm just telling you, does the person look good to you? Right? I've had clients, oh, no, she looks good. Oh, no, she doesn't. I think that women, right on for the 1999. Is that my man? Eduardo Martinez. That's my dog. If you got anything to say it to me, because that's my dog. In the great words of Friday, right? From Craig. That's my dog. Shout out from Vegas Finest. Hope everyone is doing well. You guys are all my friends, the kind I wish I had in person. You're all awesome. We'll continue to support your channel. Eduardo Martinez, I appreciate you too. I'm glad you're living it up, bud. Interesting topic today if you want to chime in, Eduardo. I hope things are going good with the new woman that you're dating and seeing. If you want to ask any quick question, sometimes no news is good news, right? But Eduardo, I mean, I was just talking about today, if you want to join the Discord, I'll post some pictures of Thailand right now, man. When the things lift, you guys got to come out here. Not just to visit me, just come out and have a piece of paradise. It is gorgeous right now. Beautiful. Rob, start using some of that Bitcoin to live a more extravagant lifestyle. Can I ask you, like, because Rob, I know we're gonna get off topic right here, but I got a lot of respect for Rob, and Rob's hit it big with Bitcoin. If I'm correct, maybe you want to be modest about that. You don't want to blow up the spot, but if you have a significant amount of Bitcoin right now, I'd say that you're doing pretty well. Does it affect Rob? I believe you're in your early 30s. Are you one of those where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna, I just hit it big. Let's just say you made 500 to $1.5 million or something right now. You're sitting on. I know if you cash it in, you have taxes and all that other stuff. Are you looking at it like I'm just gonna keep building up, or would you like to just go screw it? I'm gonna go to Thailand for a year, or I'm gonna just go do something extravagantly fun and out there, and let my hair grow a little bit. Or are you like, I'm just going to, save that money? I'm just curious. Because correct me if I'm wrong. Everyone, people are like, this is one of those things. It's like a lotto ticket in a lot of ways, the way it's went. And by the way, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. But Rob, that's a direct question to you. I'm just curious. Jenny, thank you for the $10. I do appreciate it. So I just asked Jenny basically, would you get jealous if you thought, I already know Petty Betty's response, I'm pretty sure. Would you get more jealous if your ex was with someone that you thought was better looking than you? And then for the men on the live stream today, would you get jealous if you thought the guy was better looking than you? It's interesting because guys tend to, how should I say this? It's less jealousy and more bitterness, because being bitter is different than being jealous, right? In talking to a lot of guys, it's more bitter. It's more like, God, and he's a professional soccer player. Yeah, the guy's got a six-pack. He's got he's got a lot of things going for him, but if you talk to him, he can't chew gum and walk at the same time. You know what I mean? It's bitterness. It's not flat jealousy. I think whoever did the breakup will get jealous, especially if the new person you are dating is better looking. Can we stay at your place if we visit? That's kind of a conflict of interest, and my place isn't big enough. But here's what's cool. The town I live in, I can definitely point you in the right direction of where to stay that's only 5 or 10 minutes away from my house, and we can hang out and whatnot. Right? I've had past clients that have been in Thailand. They're like, look, I'm going to come down to Phuket. Is that cool with you? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Here's the hotel. And actually, a client of mine that's a pretty big world traveler, the hotel I recommended to him, he was like, damn, man. He goes, that's one of the nicest hotels I've ever stayed in for under $100. He stayed on the beach at a Hyatt for like 3,000 baht a night. So I would direct you. I would direct you where to stay. I do have an extra bedroom downstairs at my house, but like I said, I think it's better for everyone, because the hotels and the places are of such good value. Just get your own place. Then you just don't have to worry about it. But I'll only be 5-10 minutes away. But the beach is world class. That's not an exaggeration. I'm excited for today's topic. Does the Discord work for iPhones? I don't have a computer. I think it does. I'm pretty sure, because whenever Danny's on the sticks, he always has the iPhone on. I don't see why not. That'd be pretty archaic of YouTube not to have it work on an iPhone. I'm riding it out. Jeez, man. Yeah, that's why you were there. That's why you got into it, because you're riding it out, right? Man, I would have. Honestly, I'd like to. I've had thoughts where I'm like, oh, I wish I would have bought Bitcoin. I was told to buy it, this, that, and the other, But I would have been out already, and I would have been like, oh, man. For me, living where I live, that money has twice the value. Twice the value. Dark Knight on deck. Did the new Batman ever come out? I thought it was going to come out this year. I just got some dog coin. Good for you. I'll probably do that too. I mean, I'm just seriously. Sometimes, here's what's really interesting. And now I'm getting off topic. I apologize. Will my ex get jealous if I date again? I'll get back. And if you do have what's your response to that? Will my ex get jealous if I date again? I think a lot of times people hit it big with something money-wise or something like that, and then you're like, oh, I'm just going to save, or I'll just get a car or something. Like, go move somewhere really cool and do some cool shit while you're young. I've met so many people living here that retired out in Thailand. They're like, damn, man, you found it young. They're jealous. They're jealous. Go read The 4-Hour Work Week. The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss isn't really about working 4 hours a week and making it. It's kind of a what do they call that when you get a thumbnail that draws you in? It's one of those things. Great title, not really true, but the idea that you can go and live a better lifestyle while you're still young, right? Because you'll enjoy it a lot more now than you'll enjoy it when you're 70 or 80 if you have 10 times the money, right? Does that sound correct? I mean, you know what's interesting about Warren Buffett? I don't know how many billions he's worth, right? Hail to Warren Buffett, great investor. Lives in Nebraska? Okay. That Nebraska is one of those places. I've never even met someone that was born in Nebraska. That's a kind of one of those states you just forget about. The only thing I know about it is I believe Abe Lincoln was born there. And they got the Huskers as a big-time football college or something like that. But, I mean, really? Like Dark Knight, he's lived in some cool places. I don't think he minds me mentioning. I think you're from Montreal and you live in Cyprus now. I mean, like, man, if you have the money, you know, live somewhere beautiful. Great. Thankfully, Dark Knight honeymoon stage with my girlfriend. She's very mature at the age of 22. For the first time in a long time, I feel confident once again with her by my side. Good for you, Eduardo Martinez. Well, you know what? You did you know what you did because I don't know your whole story. I don't remember. I don't think you've ever really sent me a story, Eduardo. But I do know that you moved away from the LA area and you had friends and family there, and it was a long-term relationship. It was a tough one. But you had a thought of moving back at one point, right? And I think you did the right thing by sticking it out where you were. And I do think you did the right thing by moving. If you're having a really tough time, I know I've mentioned this before, and Rob, you're on every live stream, so sometimes you go, God damn, he repeats himself. Really, if you're single and you don't have any obligations, take a look at the globe and go, hey, man, where would it be really cool to live? Or at least live in a better area of your current town, because it'll change your whole dynamic. Send the new person a sympathy card. Getting back to the topic, will my ex get jealous if I date again? Most will. Most will. So I'm just going to get into the comment that was left yesterday, and I could say her name because her name's on the YouTube comment. So yesterday, title of the live stream was, your ex shows interest then breaks a date. So very specific. She writes, Karen Ashley, which sounds like a news anchor, you are wrong about women. Okay, so here's a blanket generalized statement, right? And when someone says something that's an opinion and you don't agree, you know what I like to do? Says who? You? You are wrong about women. There are women who value their own body and psyche. Why would it make a woman more urgent to get with a man if she sees him with someone else? Now, I got Petty Betty on deck. That's a woman. I got Jenny. I think there's maybe a couple other women out of the 13 watching. Is it out of line to say that it would make a woman more urgent to get with a man if she sees him with someone else? When I say someone else, when she says someone else, I'm assuming she means, dating someone else. Now, that's not exactly what I said. What I said was this individual was out dating. His ex saw him dating, and he got a call the next day. Was that a surprise or a coincidence, folks? Is that me saying that women have don't have value or a psyche? Right? I don't think so. Now, would all women in the world jump up and call if they saw their ex dating someone else? Hell no. Would a lot do it? Yes. Does it affect them? Hell yeah, it does. Now, the comment doesn't end there. So let me start from the top. You are wrong about women. There are women who value their own body and psyche. Why would it make a woman more urgent to get with a man if she sees him with someone else? We are not chickens with a rooster, she writes. And right there, I thought to myself, But is it that different? Go to a rock concert. Who's the rooster? Is it that different? We are not chickens with a rooster. No, we're human beings. We're so above every other animal in the world. She writes on, could be a predatory mentality. Now, when you say predatory mentality, that's a strong word. Nothing I said in yesterday's podcast or live stream or what have you would incorporate, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, you were on deck yesterday, predatory. This is when people throw around words and you're like, really? Could be a predatory mentality. Could be? First of all, could be means like, I don't know, 50-50, 40%. There's nothing to that. Predatory, to say something could be a predatory mentality is like saying, you know, it's like a step below saying this person could be a killer or something. She writes on, check your diet. Too much adrenochrome. I don't even know what that is. Adrenochrome? So I just wrote back, I respect your opinion and will respond to this in an upcoming live stream. I'm not familiar with adrenochrome. So, this is what gets me, though. She believes she's speaking for all women. You are wrong about women. I've talked to them all. There are women who value their own body and psyche. I agree. There's a lot of women that do. I don't think that a woman's not valuing herself if she gets jealous or she becomes more urgent if she sees her ex with someone. I didn't say that, right? I believe that it's just human nature, just like when you were a little kid and someone played with your toy or a kid in the neighborhood just got an ice cream from the ice cream man and you missed the truck. You got jealous. How extreme it was jealous-wise, I don't know. Next time, the next day, you didn't miss the ice cream truck. Next time your friend came over, you probably hid that toy or you played with it first. This is human nature, right? This isn't about valuing women or a predatory mentality. This is when stuff gets a little dangerous, when people start throwing stuff out there on extreme levels. Does anyone get where I'm going with this? I'm not even that upset because I'm removed from being around people like this. But if I was in a society or an environment, it's like you're walking around with booby traps everywhere. Oh, that was predatory mentality. Really? That's pretty strong language to use about someone talking about your ex shows interest, then breaks a date, and that you saw your ex out with someone else and you got jealous and you got urgent about things. The future predictions are so high, it's hard to do the exchange. Seriously, I really just purchased it like 30 minutes ago. Aries rising, welcome. Some exes are glad to get rid of the girlfriend or boyfriend and are happy the ex is no longer bugging them. I agree, Rob. I agree. In that case, they'll definitely be like, oh, I'm happy for you, or I don't care. Those are relationships that we're never going to get back together. And like I said yesterday, it was definitive. It was done. It depends on the character of the individual. Overall, if you had a pretty good relationship and you were together for over a year, 2 years, 3 years, anyone's going to get a little bit of feeling because it's going to be awkward to see someone else with your girl. Because it's so funny because guys will say, that's my girl, mine. Just like you say, that's my toy, that's mine, right? My girlfriend, my wife. And so you see someone with that, and then it's not just ego, it's heartstrings. I personally don't care if my ex gets jealous. How she feels is the last of my concerns. Well, in your case, Dark Knight, correct me if I'm wrong, she ended up seeing someone else, but did you ever witness her dating someone else? Because let's get a little nitty gritty. Will my ex get jealous if I date again? Is it different if you see it with your own eyes? I think it's about times 10 different. If you hear about it from a friend, it'll bug you. If you wonder or ponder about it, it'll bug you. If you hear it in a rumor or you somehow think it's true because of a social media post, it will really hound you. It'll be on your mind. If you see it in person, you go into a coffee shop and they're sitting in the corner together holding hands or lovey-dovey, I think that's one of those ones where you just might just melt. Welcome to the channel, Aries. Off topic, no problem, my bad. How many ducklings do you think it would take to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool? That is really off topic, CD. 1,000. Yes, correct. I'm from Montreal and now in sunny Cyprus. Well, that's cool, man. I think I've never been to Cyprus, but the Russian guy that set up my podcast equipment here lived there for like 10 years. Said it was beautiful. I've had many fun nights in Montreal. Oh, here we go. The blanket statement. Right, Ron? You are wrong about women. Says who? You? I would like to, everyone that finds someone that makes a blanket statement in the future or judges you on any kind of social media, because by the way, YouTube is a form of social media with the comments, right? I talked about this a while back. I made a comment about Charles Bukowski quote. I don't know if you guys know who Charles Bukowski is. He's a famous author. He's pretty raunchy and vile guy, but he's very famous, right? And I made a comment on an Instagram post about a quote from his book, and someone gave me a paragraph and basically goes, "You don't get Charles Bukowski." Says who? You? First of all, you're not Charles Bukowski. Second of all, you're just a pedestrian in the streets. Like, I'm supposed to go, oh, God, I just heard from, and by the way, their name isn't like their name. It's like Bart 1787564. It's like you don't even identify who you are, but you go around telling people, oh, you don't really know the real Charles Bukowski, but I do. So I'm the Charles Bukowski quote of police, and I speak for everyone. Yeah, the guy's been dead for, I don't know, 15 years, and you're spokesperson for everyone to understand someone's quotes. Newsflash. Newsflash. You didn't know him, you read some of the quotes, and you just got an opinion. Take a seat, please. She clearly doesn't understand subconscious psychology. Like I said, I got this, comments come in, and sometimes, most of the time, I'll respond in some way if I'm, up from my phone or something like this. But I just thought this one should be, and really for how many views I get a month and whatnot, I don't get a lot of negative stuff. I don't mind it because I wrote back. I respect your opinion. That's having an opinion. Good for you. Good for you. And by the way, I'm not saying you're dead wrong, right? You're the one that's saying I'm wrong. And then at the end, check your diet. Too much androchrome. You could be a predatory mentality. What? I wouldn't use the word urgent, but there is some truth to that. Well, apples don't, whatever. You could use a different word, but well, think about it this way, Rob. What is the other word? Here's what's really interesting. I was watching a good podcast with that Andrew Huberman, the neuroscientist from Stanford. He's all of a sudden the last year he's all over the place. It's like once you get an interview with Joe Rogan, you're made, man. That's like if you want to get made on YouTube or your book. It used to be Oprah Winfrey. Thankfully, it's changed, and now it's Joe Rogan, right? You go on Joe Rogan's podcast, it's curtains. The rest of your life, you're gonna be known for who you are and whatnot. It's just he's got that big a platform, and so this guy did one of those, and now he's on deck. I've seen him there first. He's good. He's really good. And he's talked about these things before, and it's really interesting because when she mentions chickens with a rooster, we are not chickens with a rooster. It's like, in some cases you are. In some cases you are. No, not all women. No surprise. Hey, all. What's up, Nav? Nav? I was on yesterday, yes. Well, the word predatory isn't the right word there. No. Okay, getting back to why I used the word urgent. Andrew Huberman was saying that one of the main things that motivates us, he used this word, was urgency. That's why we have deadlines. And so he said, if you're having trouble with procrastination or you're having trouble getting things done, it's from a lack of urgency or pressure that you need to get that done. And I thought the same applies to why I use the word urgent, and I'm not saying you're wrong because it's an opinion, Rob, that, well, maybe I wouldn't use the word urgent. What else? What other word would you use that someone's now dating someone else? So what does that mean? Your ex is now dating someone else. What does that now mean? The window's closed where they're no longer single or appear to not be single, or they're actually in the process of screening new candidates. So I believe that the process gets a little bit more urgent if you wanted to get back with them, because it looks like there might be starting something with someone else. And in that particular case, this guy who had been broken up for a year and a half got a call the next day. Does it happen all the time? No. Was it inhibited by the fact that she saw him with someone else? Come on. That wasn't a coincidence. I know what it is. She needs a few lessons in the unwritten rules of female-male dynamics, right? Well, the idea too that why is it that women love a rock star, right? Why is it? I know that's social proofing. I know that that's the word that's used, right? But it's also someone that other people are interested in, right? Skinner, yo. You can't play with my yo-yo. That's an old one. BNS, what happening? Who's BN? Okay, BNS. I like brand new Skinner better. BNS. Not all women jump up and call. Yes, a lot would. It goes both ways. Oh, yeah, Jenny. A lot of jealous people out there. She probably called her ex. Me personally, I wouldn't, knowing he moved on. It's a character move. But that's why, going back really quick, okay? What I said was it depends on the individual and where they're at in their own life. This is what really gets overlooked. If you're in an environment where you live somewhere and there's not a lot of options, or you're at a place in your life because of your appearance or your status in the community, those two things translates to you not getting a lot of action or a lot of options, then you damn well will get jealous about your ex, because you know what? You feel like you might butter up the term soulmate, but it also means only mate, right? That's what it comes down. If someone's in an environment and they're at a status level where out of a breakup they have immediate options that are attractive, they won't maybe jump at those things. Maybe they got to lick their wounds because they got to get some time. But I'll tell you what, they won't be at ground zero very long. Also plays into I want what I can't have ideology. Absolutely. That's what I said yesterday. I saw my ex with a new girlfriend. I would text him a thumbs up. I don't believe you. Want to stay with the live stream? Can you catch me up? Sounds like I missed something good. I just read a post this woman read. I'll just read it to you really quick, Skinner, because you are someone that gets VIP status. This woman wrote yesterday, "You are wrong about women. There are women who value their own body and psyche. Why would it make a woman more urgent to get with a man if she sees him with someone else? We are not chickens with a rooster. Could be a predatory mentality. Check your diet. Too much adrenochrome." This is someone sent me this directly yesterday, so this is what I was talking about earlier. He's looking up with my girlfriend. He's hooking up with my girlfriend. I don't remember blocking anyone. I'm just listening and playing guitar. Okay, cool. Let's put a song together. CD, you play guitar. What's the greatest breakup song out there? I think one might get affected by seeing an ex with someone new is stronger when the breakup is fresh. Absolutely, Dark Knight. After some time, she's as significant as a random stranger. I would say, like I told you earlier, if it's someone you know, which happens a lot, that bugs the hell out of a lot of people. No true Scotsman. Oh, is this from the riddle that you put in? CD, are you a Scotsman? Do you have some haggis? A pedestrian in the street whose random words are mostly a sound bite. I thought I would just share that because you get... The part that gets me is when give your opinion, don't agree, but then you take a haymaker shot and say, could be predatory mentality. Those are big words. Check your diet. Like I said, I don't know what adrenochrome is. Is that a supplement or something? The lady you mentioned sounds like she's really been screwed over as royally damaged. Not a healthy person, in my opinion. Too much hate and bitterness. Hate, bitterness, maybe some profound ignorance on psychology behind their skewed understanding. Damn, tricks are for kids. The ex is dating someone might also be a case where the grass isn't greener syndrome comes into play. Yep, true. Why women love the rock star? Exactly, social proof, mutual competing interests, social hierarchy, the desire to have what you can't have. And those things are human. Possibly, but sometimes tricks will trick the subconscious and the conscious many times, so no control. I got feminist vibes from that. I myself have not had a situation where I witnessed my ex dating again. I had suspicions, but like I said, I think it would be much worse if you saw it in person. I did have an ex pretty quick after our breakup start seeing her ex, who she always spoke negatively about, and I didn't mind because I was in a new relationship also, so it didn't sting me as bad. I was a little surprised, and that's why I said if someone's already in a relationship, it won't sting nearly as bad. And we were in different zip codes. We were far apart. Actually, you mentioned people feeling self-righteous about knowing who Charles Bukowski is. Sounds like they fall into the no true Scotsman fallacy. What is that? What does that mean? In other words, one Scotsman will say, well, you're not a true Scotsman because you don't do X, Y, Z. There's a lot of people like that now too, right? That, well, you're not this because they make the rules about what you're identifying with. I think everyone would get a bit jealous, man or woman. That's why you stay off their social media. Why would you want to know? I agree, Philip. I agree. I think that everyone would get a little bit, but if you are moved on, if you're in different environments or you're seeing someone else, in those particular cases, a lot of times it's a lot smoother sailing out of that storm, if you will. Well, in my case, my ex went rummaging through the trash and is dating an ex of over 30 years ago that she cheated on back then. Poor guy's the poster boy for how to be low value. Jeez. Well, what's interesting? There are some people that would rather not take their chances and be single again and go back to an ex that wasn't a great relationship. Because one of the things human beings are attracted to is familiarity. And think about that for a minute. Let's say that there's people that go to the same place every year for family vacation and stay at the same hotel. Familiarity. People that order the same food from the same restaurant every time they go. Familiarity. Right? Someone breaks up. A lot of times someone goes, oh, I don't know why, but my ex just called me out of the blue. I just had a client call me up about this. Their ex from 5 or 6 years ago that they hadn't called me about, called them out of the blue. I go, yeah, she probably just broke up with her boyfriend or we're having trouble. He goes, like, how did you know? They didn't break up, but they're having trouble. Well, yeah, because her mind goes, or his mind goes, all right, I might be being single pretty soon. I'm having a lot of issues with this individual. God, so-and-so never acted this way before. Or, God, I wonder what they're up to because we used to have something good. It's just what the mind filters towards. He's married, and both him and my ex are lying to their families about it. I'm happy she's gone. Wow, another married situation, huh? I got some stories I got to share, but I think I'm going to save them for the next one. Does anyone have any questions today? We're at the 46-minute mark. We got CD on deck, brand new Skinner, Dark Knight, the usual suspects. Kaiser Soze hasn't walked in yet, though. I get familiarity, but this is just pathetic. When you know your ex cheated on you and you take her back like a puppy, there's a serious problem with you. I got something I was wondering about. So, in the fabulous world of YouTube, something came up yesterday with a podcast. And Rob, you might know this because you follow a lot of pickup artists. Here, where did it go? This guy's name is Frank Kermit. And you guys got to look this up to see for yourself right now. Frank Kermit. You can Google check it or YouTube check it, I believe. And they have him. This is no joke. So you guys got to look up the picture, actually, right? He looks like some guy I went to high school with. Frank Kermit. You can look this up. And just tell me if you guys have looked this up yet on YouTube really quick. Okay. So it came up as some kind of podcast with dating advice or something on, suggested videos along with basketball videos and everything else that I've ever searched in my life, right? YouTube's gotten to a point now where they give you like 10 different topics sometimes. But this particular guy I hadn't ever heard of. And he's got 1,045 subscribers with 988 videos. So he's kind of like me. He doesn't have a whole lot of subscribers, but a lot of videos. So this guy's on, and one of the things he's talking about, I just listened to the podcast briefly because you guys got to look up the picture of Frank Kermit, right? The guy's talking, and he's like, well, I started out, dating, and I wasn't very good. Right, Jenny? That's why I said you have to look it up. You got to look it up. And you saw his picture? You guys got to look this up, like I said, on YouTube. So at first, being the judgmental human that I am, I looked at the picture. I'm like, really? This guy's doing dating advice? And it's so funny because some guys will be like, oh, I've been a pickup artist. And immediately you think to yourself, well, you don't look that good. Or you don't look, because I think the mind goes, well, the pickup artist needs to either be famous, outlandish. They call it peacocking, or just good looking, right? But some people do have a silver tongue, right? That's true. I've had friends before that are. I just posted it. It basically spelled as it sounds. Frank Kermit, last name Kermit. So the guy was on the podcast, and he's giving out, first. You like that one, Rob? I like I said, it's almost better me just telling you to look it up. So I listened to the podcast just for 5 minutes. I didn't listen. I don't know if it was 45 minutes or an hour, and he's going over dating dynamics and this, that, and the other. Okay, a lot of this stuff is remixed in different ways, and I'm not quote unquote hating on the guy overall, because could be true. Here's what I'm getting at, though. What you don't get when someone goes, so he was telling a story. He goes, I got to a point where basically I got my ex back, my ex-wife. And that didn't work out. He talks really slow and calm. He goes, that didn't work out, but I got my closure because I got her back on my terms. I was like, okay. By the way, none of us could see what the ex-wife looks like or who she is. That's a big piece of the puzzle. Do you agree or not agree? So then he goes, I started dating. I got in touch with some things and started dating more women and whatnot. And he goes, Valentine's Day came and I said, I'm dating 2 different women and I don't want to go out with one of them. I want to go out with both of them. So, this is his tone. So I decided they're both going to come with me on a date. So I sat in the front seat, drove. They both sat in the back seats together. They were both, we set up a table for a restaurant that was convenient, that I was at the head of the table, and them 2 were facing me. And I thought to myself, I've done it. I'm dating 2 women on Valentine's Day. They agreed to it. What's missing from this story, though? What's missing from the story? Because someone would go, oh wow, man, he got 2 women. He had 2 women on a Valentine's Day. Wow, this is a smooth operator. What's missing, right? Let's be honest. What's missing? You tell me. Oh, I've gotten umpteen women. I got to date 2. I got to date 2 women agreed to go on a date at the same time on Valentine's Day. What would be going through your mind? What would you think? I mean, really, what would you think? I'm listening to this on the podcast. I'm not thinking it's not true. That's not where I'm going with it. And I'm not saying that this guy doesn't have quote unquote game. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying he might not be a bad coach, because I read his website and some of his approaches I thought were good. I thought what he said was cool. He was saying how he likes to get to know the individual rather than just give advice and whatnot. So I'm not just. And by the way, the funny thing, like I said, his picture reminds me of someone I went to high school with that was a friend of mine. So I don't dislike the guy. Right? Philip Carlson, ding, 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 ding. The prize goes to Philip. Right? Correcto. What kind of women are they? Right? I mean, that's what gets lost. Well, I was dating 2 women. They agreed to this. They agreed to that. And by the way, some of these guys, and I didn't hear long enough on the podcast, they'll say, oh, they were gorgeous or they were hot, as the great Craig Kenneth's done before. I've heard one. I haven't watched a lot of Craig Kenneth, but I remember Craig Kenneth, I've just dated gorgeous women. The most gorgeous women you've ever seen. And in my head, I'll be honest, I was like, yeah, right. Okay? All right? And I'm not coming from a place where I think, that I'm the ultra model or anything like that. But I'm just like, come on, dude. I dated. I'll teach you ways to date the most gorgeous women you've ever dated in your life. Really, Craig? Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go to you for that one. Seriously. I mean, come on. So that's what I was thinking, Philip. I was like, cool, don't doubt it. And even like, this is what gets lost in all this stuff, because let's say you lined up 1,000 women. There are some women out there that would go, oh yeah, I'll compete for a guy, or I would double date and be a guy's, second piece, or, if, what kind of women agree to that? Certainly not all. Right? I was thinking to myself, because I was intrigued by this. This isn't just like Brand New Skinner. This isn't just a shot at Frank Kermit, because there's a lot of stuff out there with pickup artists. And, Neil Strauss is one of the more famous stories with The Game and The Better Book, which was The Truth. You got to read both of them. Great pieces of writing, great books. And I'm actually kind of surprised, because I follow Neil Strauss on Instagram now, and the quotes he puts up, sometimes I'm like, all it is self-improvement type quotes, and he's such a great writer. Some of the stuff he puts up there surprises me, because I thought he was more than just like a self-improvement person, but that's what he's kind of become. It's interesting. But getting back to this Frank Kermit guy, right? This isn't, like I said, Brandon Skinner, this isn't just me like bashing Frank Kermit. I'm just giving you my honest take when I first looked at it, right? And like I said in the podcast, so I had the 2 women at the table, and we had dinner together. And I was thinking to myself, dating 2 women at one time, things are going pretty good. And they agreed to the date. They sat in the back of the car. I was in the front. So you have this picture of everything, but you don't have a picture of what the women look like. You don't have a background of what their lives were like. That's the missing puzzle piece. Because to me, yeah, you can get women that would go, you can get women that would probably go, oh, I'll live at your house, and you can have 4 other women at the house. Not all women are going to agree to that. I'll tell you what, when I was thinking about it, and this is what I lost my train of thought, I was just thinking about the 4 serious girlfriends I've had in my own life. Good women, good relationships as far as I'm concerned, right? Not one of them would have agreed to go on. That's a guarantee. That has nothing to do with my pickup artist work or my game. Not one of them would be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go on a date, and you can bring another girl along, let alone Valentine's Day, and I'll compete. Not one of them would have done that. They might, multiple ones of them would have dated me while I'm dating someone else, because they did it. I had 2 of the girlfriends I was openly dating and seeing other women while we were dating, and they knew it, which was fine. They had the confidence to deal with it. I wasn't rubbing it in their face, but we ended up being boyfriend and girlfriend and being official at a point. But I think it's a whole nother ball game when you're saying you got women going on a date as a threesome together. Well, what kind of dude would do that? A player. A player's going to play, Blade. Right? Go look up the picture. Frank Kermit. That's the dude. Why would someone do that? Well, go read The Game by Neil Strauss and The Truth by Neil Strauss, and it's excellent writing, and it'll explain that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you what it is. This is my theory. When you've been neglected or you're really bad at something for a long time, especially something like getting women, right? Because getting women it's public. People will judge you like, oh, Frank never has a girlfriend, or he's really bad with women. It's in some societies and cultures, I don't like the word shameful, but it's embarrassing. And so when you get good at it, right, which is like anything else, by the way, anything else, most things you can acquire the proper skills, go to a guru, go to a coach, go to someone you respect, learn some things, and get a mentor or whatever. And that includes picking up women, right, and getting better, and get better at it. And then once you get better at that, you want to do it more often because you're making up for lost time. And deep down inside, you still feel like everyone thinks I'm not good with women, so I got to double down and prove it twice as much, right? Blade, you're a sportsman, right? I know you, I believe you play tennis, so that's a one-on-one sport. It's a little different, but like, if you look at a team sport, someone like Dennis Rodman, I don't know if this might not get with everyone's, because then not everyone knows the NBA, but Dennis Rodman wasn't always a great player. He wasn't always really popular when he was a kid. He had a lot of things wrong. When he came to the NBA, he reinvented himself. And you're thinking, why does he have the tattoos, the colored hair? Why does he do all these bizarre things? Because he was neglected of that attention when he was young. That's deep psychology shit, right? So I thought I would just share that. But like I said, I just read Dark Knights and it threw me off. I've been out with 2 women once. It was her idea after an absolutely great night. Okay, so in what way? Like the woman had suggested the other women to join you? Or you, because the way this was presented from the great Frank Kermit is he was dating 2 different women, right? And he didn't want to go to Valentine's Day and pick one, so he said both of you are going to come. And both of you are sitting, and then he explained how they both sat in the car and kind of cooperated and went along. And I'm saying there's absolutely women out there that would do that. What are you looking for? I'm saying, and when I look back at the girlfriends I've had that I've had a high level of respect and love for, and I would just add, before I was with them, boyfriend, girlfriend, and seeing them, and I had an interest in them, I can't see them going, okay, you can bring another girl along. Like I said, they could know that I was dating someone else, maybe even be a little bit jealous, which a couple of them were, but to go along on a date like that. Now maybe that's where his skills come in. But if you go check him out, he has, wait for it, one of the top things that comes up when you Google check him or YouTube check him, the complete guide to losing your virginity, even if you're over 25. I thought that was incredible. I mean, what a target, right? What a target. Oh my goodness. And he didn't write how to talk to women. It's how to talk to, you know what I mean? It's like unbelievable. And I've had clients before where they'll be like, "Oh, I was a virgin till I was 25 or 20. I go, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all paths lead to now, folks." And by the way, I don't doubt that this guy could be good with women, right? I don't doubt it. What does this word simp mean to you? I didn't grow up with the word simp. And so when people use it, I'm like, and they use it a lot now. Oh, this guy's a simp. What does that mean? Better to self-improve. Look at men as their simps. Unstable men feel their ego by dating multiple women. I don't think there's a problem. I'll be honest, Nav. I don't think there's a problem dating multiple women. I've done it when I'm single. I don't think it's a problem at all. If you're dating, you're not with one person. I don't even have a problem that he was able to get a date with 2 women that they agreed. That's I'm not taking shots at that guy for that reason. I'm just curious. I'm really curious. What were the women's backgrounds and what did they look like? See what I mean? It's like you're painting a picture, but then, right? Simp is one of those words. I don't really. You know what word got used the most on the internet? Brand new scanner. What word do you think has been overused in the psychological world, especially with breakups? What's the number one word that was never used in popular language before, but now everyone seems to label people this? You want to hear something funny, Dark Knight? Simp is usually a guy that is always at a woman's beck and call, like a puppy that's always happy to oblige and will instantly go out this way to cater to her. Ding, ding, ding. Brand new Skinner gets the prize. Narcissist. Everyone goes, oh, this. And narcissist sounds like you learned a really big word. You know, everyone uses this all over there's channels with hundreds of videos about detecting a narcissist. Right? Going back to simp. So simp is usually a guy that is always at a woman's beck and call. When I was in high school a long time ago, in the 90s, a century ago, we called that a Captain Save-A-Ho, and just for short, we'd call it Captain, right? And that was from the great Master P, was big time then. How you do that there. It's before your time, Skinner. Skinner, you're in your 20s. You might have still been swimming around that time. Yeah, we used to call, it used to be like, oh, this guy's a captain. This guy's a captain. And it was if you called someone a captain and they were like, it was kind of bad because I don't think they had terms like this in the 1950s and the 1940s when people would date and stuff. A guy wouldn't be cut down on his knees for being too nice to a woman. I think like I said, when I was listening to hip hop in the late 90s, which was pretty much in the Bay Area where I was from, everyone listened to that. I mean, some of those terms, it would get a hold of you. You wouldn't want to be called a captain. It was embarrassing. So I guess it's just another term that I didn't grow up with. My nephew, who's in his early 20s, is like, captain? And then I told him what it was. He's just dying laughing. Like, he thought it was the most creative term. Donald, where are you from and what age range are you from? I'm just curious. Majority of women look at men as simps. Better to self-improve so they chase you. That's ideal. DP. Settling for moderate pie, Donald says. Settling for moderate pie. I just, like I said, I find it, I've had a friend of mine before go, wow, you're just picky, man. Really? Well, quality over quantity, quantity over quality. It's just a choice, right? It's just a choice. That's all it is. But have you ever had, friend, family member, or colleague that you worked with, and this could be a woman or man question, and they're like, oh my God, the person I'm dating's so hot, or they're this, and you meet them and you're like, really? This is who you're talking about? Or they show you a picture and you're like, really? Everyone's attracted to different stuff. But there are people out there that you're like, oh yeah, everyone thinks that. 55. You want to hear something funny, Donald? I live in Thailand, and 5-5 means ha ha, because the number 5 means ha, or the translation. So we use that as a ha ha ha. Yo, women value themselves way too much because of their It's not being nice so much, but more when it's clear that she doesn't care and he's using him, yet he's so clueless about it and still chases and caters. That's a simp. Okay. I've never been that. That's for damn sure. Usually people who claim their ex was a narcissist have shit boundaries and give too many chances. That's a interesting thing because, yeah, the narcissism card, a lot of people wave the flag and blow the whistle. Oh my God, this person's a narcissist. Oh my God, this person's a narcissist. It's like, well, be thankful you got out of the web then. Narcissist, to me, a narcissist in a simple terms, and I know someone's going to give me a bigger term, by the way, so go ahead, blow me away with it. It's people that are extremely good with manipulation, and they're highly selfish. Oh, no, it's deeper than that, Mac. Okay, throw it all out there. There's a really good, I've talked about this before. I think Rob said he's heard of it. There's a really good deep dive on narcissism on a podcast called Psychology in Seattle. I know it sounds weird. I'm going to pull it up. Is it here? Yeah, here he is. If you want to go, how to detect a narcissist, great video. I'll post this on my I'll post this on my Discord. And what he does is he asks questions to a friend, and the friend's like, oh yeah, I know someone like that. And one of them that stood out to me, I'll just post it right now in the Discord, how to detect a narcissist. Check out that video. Things like, why didn't you, I haven't heard from you for a while. Yeah. Let's say you and a friend haven't talked to each other for a month or 3 weeks. They'll blame it on you. Well, you never called me. And they're oblivious to the fact that you didn't call each other. That's like a minor narcissist move. They're always trying to make you feel guilty. Typically, women aren't referred to as simps. Not that I know of. It's just one of those terms that's thrown out there now that I just don't relate to because we didn't use it when I certainly don't use it now. I don't go, oh, this guy's a simp. Right? A lot of people subconsciously don't know the path they're walking on. Does that they don't know that their actions are leading to their results. They think that their results are just happening to them because they have bad luck or someone's a jerk. But like, really, when someone goes on and on that they were with a narcissist for 3 years, I go, well, if they're really a true narcissist and that bad for you, number one, you got to be thankful you got out of the relationship. Number two, you telling everyone how much of a narcissist doesn't really reflect well on you because none of your friends or family are going to have them arrested, right? None of your friends or family are going to go, oh my God, he was a narcissist? Oh, I hate those. They kind of just go, okay, well, I'm glad you're not with him anymore, this, that, and the other. If there was abuse, if there was stealing, if there was physical abuse, things like that, those are things that deserve compassion and understanding and therapy. But if someone was just a manipulative type of person that really just wanted to get their way all the time and was highly selfish, move on. Move on. But you played a role in accepting some of that manipulation and being part of that game, right? My sister thinks all my boyfriends are not good looking. Well, you said your sister's extremely good looking yourself to me, so maybe she just has a different. Do you think your sister's boyfriends are good looking? Petty Betty, I feel that way about my sister's boyfriends too. That could be a bias thing. Exactly, Mac. I get that in live coaching. That's music to my ears. Like, exactly. How'd you know? I'm like, because I've been doing this a while. I know what I'm doing. This is what I'm good at. What I do. Right? That's the accountability thing where you go, all right, now. And by the way, I would have never quote unquote spotted a narcissist when I was in my 20s. We didn't even have that term floating around. I wouldn't have noticed when someone was manipulating me in that way. But manipulation is the art of getting what you want, right? And somehow manipulation can be used in a way that's not always bad. The best negotiation is something called win-win. I was a swinging duck sailor in the 80s, yo. Pattaya Beach, Thailand rocks. I was a swinging duck sailor in the 80s. I don't know what that means, but I know Pattaya Beach, Pattaya, Thailand. I know where that is. People don't take accountability for what they're accepted. Oh, they were a narcissist. Well, shit, why'd you stay so long? I mean, in some cases, to play devil's advocate, some people are extremely gullible and they've never... This is what's so interesting, and I actually enjoy what I do because the stories and the interactions. Well, that makes more sense, DP, Donald. Swinging duck was not the term you wanted to use. But some people are much more susceptible if they're gullible, and they're easy kills for a narcissist. And I've like I said before, I've had friends that now looking back that would classify as pretty narcissistic, and the people that they end up entangling themselves with are people that are easy prey. That's what it is. But then they end up, a narcissist end up being found out. And that doesn't mean when they end up being found out for being a narcissist. They might just be being found out for being selfish or all for themselves, and then they become the victim. And then so they're always going to manipulate the situation to be one where they didn't do anything wrong. They're not really good at saying sorry. Those kinds of things. And yeah, I would say it's either narcissist is either a victim or a hero, depending on the situation. Anything to get their way and anything not to take accountability and responsibility. Very similar to what a drug addict or an alcoholic does, by the way. Mac, that's exactly why you're a good coach, because that's a reasonable response. Well, thank you. Thank you. I've had people in live coaching sessions do that. They're like, wait a minute, man. That was a good answer. Okay, thank you. It's like, I think it's because some people, there's so many coaches and different things on YouTube. When you do dive in and pay the money to talk to me for an hour, you still don't know what you're going to get, right? You know what I mean? You're like, oh, shit. I spent $125 to talk to this person for an hour, and then when you get done, you're like, oh, shit. Wow, that was really helpful and useful. Like, someone could be not exactly good looking to me, but their personality is awesome. They grow. Absolutely, Jenny. That's for men too. Her boyfriends have never checked out either way. Well, you know what that means, Jenny. That means you're attracted to different things and different people, right? And that means, here's what's really interesting about siblings. I always thought, I think people are born more a blank slate than born with personality traits, but that's debatable. And someone could give me an argument probably that would be a neuroscientist or someone with data and maybe sway my mind in a different direction. But I think what really makes people is their personal life experiences, which are probably in the hundreds of thousands to millions by the time you're in your 30s. Little life experiences, little moments are paving the way for how you make decisions and what you find attractive, what you don't find attractive. It's really interesting. Life's full of firsts. And what happens to you, if the first time you go to a baseball game, you have a really good experience, the hot dog was great, maybe your grandfather bought you a ball cap, and let's say you caught a baseball, which is a big deal at a baseball game, right? You'll always love baseball and that team after that. That's how that works. Now, if you went to the game and something really bad happened, like an earthquake, I actually went to, when San Francisco, this might be too much history for you folks, but in 1989, San Francisco had a huge earthquake. I was at a San Francisco Giants World Series game at like 8 years old. I had already liked the Giants. I was already a baseball fan because I loved baseball when I was a little kid. And but if that was my first experience when the earthquake hit and we had to rush out and there was hysteria everywhere, I probably wouldn't like baseball after that. That applies to pretty much everything. And it also, I believe it actually applies. Do you ever think about this, Jenny? Because people have types, right? Will we agree on that? People even go, oh, that's not my type. People have types that they're attracted to. Now, certain types, everyone thinks everyone should be attracted to their type, but people have a type personality-wise and looks-wise. And it doesn't line up with popular culture all the time as far as what a model looks like. Excuse me, was that a little light burp? But where does the type come from? Ask yourself this. The type you have, the type that you're attracted to, does it look similar to the first person that you are really attracted to? Does that make sense, what I'm saying to you? The first person or woman or man, because there's women and men on here, that you were really attracted to, or maybe you even had a crush on a movie star of some sort. Does their body type and look apply to your quote-unquote type? I had a 2-year relationship with a 46-year-old Russian babe. I became her simp. I've never cheated and never dated a married woman. Wow. Well, if I had to guess, DP, 46-year-old Russian babe, that means you found her highly attractive. You're 55. So on a scale of 1 to 10, Donald, you found her to be a 10 on the attraction scale, yes or no, or an 8 or a 9. So let me just ask you this, Donald, and this will be very clear. On a scale of 1 to 10, what was your attraction to her on a scale of 1 to 10, or intimacy? On a scale of 1 to 10, what was your connection and chemistry with her when you talked? And on a scale of 1 to 10, ready for it, what was your trust level with her, Donald? Imagine how many subscribers you'd have if you sold hope, Mac. At first when I read it, I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like, okay, now I know what you mean. I've had multiple friends that are sales or business people, and they want me to change my approach to be more sales, to be more hope, to be more Brad Browning. They'll see Brad Browning's video and like, this is what you got to do. And I'm like, I would never go that route. A friend told me before, you're too academic, you're too this, you're too that. I'm me. I broke it off with her 4 months ago, but it hurt, bro. Still does. Your videos have helped me a lot. Thanks. Donald, If you want to do a live coaching session, we can do it. I've actually known some guys that have dated Russian women, and they've had tough experiences. And they've all said that the women were manipulative. Now, let me be clear. I'm not going to say that's true of all Russian women, because actually where I live, there's a Russian population here. I've met some nice Russian women here. But if I had to guess, that 9-year age difference made you correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong, Donald. This is Nostradamus shit. You were a little bit insecure because she was hot, 9 years younger, but you were proud of her and you were excited because she was 9 years younger and hot. So you let her get away with a lot of stuff you might not usually let another woman get away with, like some controlling behavior, or maybe having you do some things you don't normally do. And then you created a playbook where she knew how to joystick you around. And then 2 years later, you were kind of like, what happened here? Ever see Susan Winter's content, Mac? I like her takes. I don't agree with everything, but still interesting. I've had other people tell me they really like her. I have seen her videos, not in a long time. And I've had people that say they like me and they like her. And so, cool. She's a softer approach, that's for sure. She has better production quality, but for me it comes off, it's like a Barbara Walters special or something. But yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about her. Never have a first relationship with a married woman. Never have a first relationship with a married woman. Great advice, Donald. Fantastic advice. Was that your case? That's not necessarily this Russian woman, is it? My sister's married, and yes, she's super pretty. I think my brother-in-law is good looking. He's not ugly. And he's in the Navy, right? Or he's military. Is there such a thing as a woman who is both a Giants and A's fan? Probably. I always thought that was kind of lame, because I was one of those people when I was a kid. You're a fan of your teams, but people are different. Some people go after play. You're not really a fan. You're not really a true blue fan. You got to pick a team. Never date a married person, period. Thanks, Nav, for throwing that in. It's not ideal. I don't think people go. Usually when someone dates a married person, it's someone from work. And it wasn't planned. Doesn't make it right, but it's not like they're searching those people out, or the person was dishonest in the beginning. Donald lived in the Bay Area right before the quake. All right, Donald, I was born and raised in San Mateo, if you did some time over there. It's bizarre how many coincidences there are between my current girl and my ex. Oh, you mean for the type? What's always interesting if you start dating someone that's an opposite. What I would say is, are the coincidences looks or just personality? It's basically Ross from Friends. As long as they are not married or with someone, it's fine. Definitely have types, and yes, when you made me think of that, yes, the first person I liked in high school has been my type. Isn't that's people go, wait a minute, how does that work? That's how it works. And a lot of the times your first experience with something, if it's good, you always like it. If your first experience is something, think about the times you don't like food. Someone will say, oh, I don't like tomatoes, I don't like onions. Because the first time they had it, they won't retry them again. Right? I don't know what 7 was for. I read an article where it said people are attracted to those that look like them, but smell completely different from them. And another article where women are attracted to men that look like their dad, and men are attracted to women that look like their mother. Interesting, Nav. I would like to see that article. I wouldn't agree. I would say that, and this is just from my personal experience, and like, how would that work for for couples that are of different races or cultures, right? Because those are pretty common. I'm just thinking of myself. You know, a couple of my girlfriends that have been Asian definitely don't look like their fathers. Although some people think I'm part Asian because I have squinty eyes. Are you Asian? Because when I smile, my eyes go like this, especially in the Bay Area. The smell thing, I haven't done a lot of research on that, but I have read that before, Nav, that there are some kind of scents that people are more attracted to than other, the pheromones. That's supposed to be true. It's subliminal. And another article where women are attracted to men that look like their dads. That one I can't buy, especially in my own cases, because I don't think I've ever looked like any of my ex's dads. And men are attracted to women that look like their mother, and I don't think the women I've been with have been have looked like my mom. But I'm sure they have some kind of research based on that. I have heard before that people, you know, you've obviously, if you've read stuff like that, you've heard that real beauty is symmetry, where both sides of the face are the exact same. What I've heard is that people are more attracted to people that are average looking because they look more similar to other people familiarity wise. So that's pretty interesting. You can find, whereas if someone's really exotic looking, you might be more attracted to another person that's a little bit more average looking because you associate with them looking like someone that's close to you or someone that you've known in the past, if that makes sense. She was a taker and I was a giver. Never works like that. I guess only in certain situations, my friend. That's one of those things, Donald, too. If you start the relationship out like that and you feel like, oh, I'm okay with this because she's so hot and this and that, it's just going to keep playing out that way because that's the playbook that got ran in the beginning. Usually in those cases, Donald, it's a situation where the woman's highly attractive, the intimacy is really good in the beginning, and then you're basically a puppet on a string because of those reasons, and you overlook the fact that your connection and chemistry is not as good as it was in the beginning because your values don't line up, and the other person, begins to take your kindness for a weakness. Some men don't mind that, and some women don't mind that. That's part of their relationship makeup. So, yes, send her a text that reminds her of a special memory. Oh, God, Skinner, I've seen that video. The guy could sell vacuums with the same style that he does breakup stuff. From Friends is an example of a man acting like a simp, yet getting results from time to time. That doesn't really work in the real world. I think in certain environments it does. Here's what I would say about the whole simp thing. It can work. It absolutely can work. And you're going to get a specific kind of woman, but you will become a doormat. Some women like doormats. Live sounds good. We will soon. I agree with that. Guys find someone like their mother and women find someone like their dad a lot of times. I would say looks-wise, no, but I would say personality types more likely. Yes. Yeah. I would say that's true. Especially if you had a good relationship or, I don't know if it's only good relationship, though. I don't know if it's only that. The other thing that would change that, Jenny, I always want to say Jen. The other thing that would change that if you were away from your parents or lived apart for a long period of time, that'll dissipate more if you moved from the house at 16 and you had 7 brothers and sisters and you had less attention, I think. I think that changes the dynamic of that. Or if you were raised in a family that was more communal, which means your grandma was there, your aunties were there, so it wasn't just like your mom was the only one. But if you were raised in a situation where you just had one sibling, you and your mom were very close, or you and your dad were very close, then I think it applies a lot more. But there is definitely a dynamic there, which hence, if someone says, I hate my dad, I don't even talk to him anymore, I hate my mother, that's a huge red flag. Even if the reasons are understandable because of what they did or their body of work. Because from the outside in, a lot of people will go, oh, just forgive your mom or forgive. You don't know that feeling of that person, right? And I've never been in that shoes. I've had some pretty bad stints with my father where I didn't talk for a little while or I was really upset, but I didn't let it go on forever. But I've known people, one person in particular that I know, highly successful individual, very wealthy, very disciplined in their life, dare I say pretty good with women. It helps that he's quite wealthy. Fitness, all these other things are checked, hates his mom, doesn't talk to her, and feels like his mother never liked him. What do you think that kind of a person does in relationships? Even with friends. Someone that close to you, you are that repulsed by, and you feel like they've done you wrong. What do you think that does to someone in relationships, personal relationships, whether it even be deep friendships or with women? I do have a good memory, don't I, Petty Betty? If I talk to you in a live coaching session, folks, if I'm dialed in and I'm talking to you, I remember a lot of details. A lot of details. It's uncanny. I don't think it's so much the looks of your parents, but the qualities that you're attracted to, which would be familiar. Okay, so that's what I just said, and I would agree. I would agree, and I've found that true myself in my own life. One of them used to fly. It's definitely true for me. The lockdown, she's itching to come back, calls me every day. One of them is local. Good for you, Dark Knight. Good for you. Maybe brush up on some game from Frank Kermit. Yes, average is apparently good looking, while too much facial symmetry is weird. See? Okay, cool. We're on the same page. I forgot where I read that, but I was surprised that because the symmetry thing is, when they show symmetry, they show someone that's like a model type person, right? But they said, yeah, average looking people, they show more similarities to other people. A lot of what you're attracted to in another person is just if they look healthy. You know what I mean? Hence, if someone goes through some acne or something like that, it's going to go away. They're not even that unhealthy, but the problem is it looks unhealthy, right? And so that definitely is part of what makes someone attractive. Pheromones are a thing. That was a marketing push behind the cheap cologne called Jovan Sex Appeal, which I think is sold at places like Walmart. Okay, I believe you. Every 3 weeks, cool. How long is it? Okay. What's the FFF club? Don't hate women, Donald. It'll get better. Quick pivot, but Draymond is going to be a great analyst when he's retired. Some of the things, I like Draymond. Some of the things he's overdoing. He's over the top. He's over the top with some of the stuff. I've liked him as a player for years, and this year that they're not winning. I've had he lost us a game with his mouth, some other things, but I mean, he's definitely gonna speak his opinion and stuff, but I think he thinks he's a little bit more. Here's the thing: Draymond's very impulsive, right? Like he's very strong, and I love him on my team because that guy just plays hard all the time, and he just never takes a break. But he doesn't always think before he speaks, and I know that's a common thing, but I think if he's going to be a better analyst, and he wants to be he wants to be. I don't care about being controversial. I'm going to say what I want to say. But even if you're going to make controversial statements, I think he needs to have better arguments. A lot of it's just on emotion. And he uses cuss words and the emotion all the time, even on the thing. So I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with controversy or things that are hard to talk about. One of the things that stood out to me is he got all upset that there was a player, Andre Drummond, there was a player that had to sit on the bench because he might get traded, and how messed up it is. The guy makes $28 million a year. Nobody feels sorry for the guy. The guy didn't lose any pay. The guy signed a contract that he pays for. The team just sat him down and said, we might be trading you. Draymond does this massive thing of how the NBA treats players and all this thing. No one in the world right now, crybaby millionaires is not something that a lot of people get behind. Sorry. That some of the things that he's done recently, he's just being impulsive. But it's good for TV, Skinner. We're talking about it now. The special memory. There's a specific name for that process where you recreate experience with a strong visualization. Yeah, maybe I should sell something like that, huh, Skinner? Even though my mom was great looking, I certainly don't date women that look like her. That would be creepy, but yes, personality-wise, there's a lot in common. That's a great point, Mag. Yeah, personality, I would say, especially because I like my mom. I love my mom, and I like the person she is, and I appreciate her. My mom's really thoughtful, very caring, and a person that's she puts everyone else first. I know that sounds like, oh yeah, everyone's gonna say that about her mom, but very, she'll go out of her way for you. My mom's a taskmaster also. She likes to be busy. She likes to have to do things all day. I look forward to getting to know the community. Right on, CD. Hey, strong enough where exact detail is used repeatedly. I dated a guy that was structured and disciplined like my dad. It was annoying, but he didn't look anything like my dad. So we'll say the looks is probably not true. We'll say the looks is probably not true, especially because your dad or your mom always looks older, because your dad or your mom's at least 20 years older, right? So I don't think you identify with how they look when you're, developing a type. Like I said, I would say if you're attracted to someone, the first person you're attracted to, it kind of goes from there. Wow, DP, that's poetic. Same with the smell thing. If they smell sweet or at least not bad, they're healthy to reproduce and have good immunity. Yep. They did an experiment where they made men wear white T-shirts for 24 hours. Okay, Skinner, I get your point. While I don't disagree, Mac, I do think us non-rich folk act like rich people can't be human. Yeah, I got you. I think part of it is you make a good point, Skinner. You're right. They have feelings too. I'm just saying it's really hard to, because correct me if I'm wrong, Skinner, playing basketball and making that much money young, and then we look at it from the outside in like you got it nicked. You're famous. You get those guys get a ton of women probably just from what they so we do look at it like that, but there is a lot of pressure. They still get their feelings hurt. I get it, but I'm just saying when you go out and you're looking for sympathy from the average Joe working at a supermarket or somewhere else, good luck. It's not a good thing for your league. Good luck. But I get where you're coming from. You're correct. Good point. Good counterpoint, bro. I get where you're coming. You're right. But like some of the arguments, I'm like I said, good luck with that. 24 hours, white t-shirt. I've had multiple girlfriends tell me that like there's nothing better than a guy that just wears a clean white t-shirt. Look, when you're 55 is a good option. It's too late in the game for me. It's best to just have fun and leave being serious about a girl behind you. Well, don't tell that to any woman on dating apps that's looking for a serious relationship, Donald. Where are you out in the world, Donald? I'm just curious. It's just so funny because you know where you're at, you know what you want, and go for you. Go for you. There's nothing more attractive than a woman that smells great. One of them first things I look for after noticing her. You know what's interesting is when a woman wears perfume that smells really nasty. I've been out with a few women like, is that perfume you're wearing? Because it just smells nasty. Maybe nasty is not the word. It just doesn't. It's like, ooh. I've went out a couple times with attractive women, and I'm like, the perfume, and you could tell they put a little extra on too, and you're like, that's not a good scent, hon. Such a strange thing. I worked in a restaurant years ago in town, and my dad grew up in. I waited on a table, and this guy said I reminded him of someone he went to school with. It's got to be your dad, right? He went on to talk about what a great piano player he was and that he hadn't seen him since high school. Well, he probably saw some similarities in you subconsciously. Yeah. You probably look like your dad a little bit. You never think you look like your parents. People always say, "Oh, you look like your dad" to me, and I don't see it that much. And my dad's 72. Forget the fame. His money is going to carry his kids. Skinner, you got to think about it like this too. It's like most people, and Rob, you're a finance guy, right? Or you're into money and stuff like that. I say that respectfully. Most people don't make money like that in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not talking about like when in the 80s and 90s, like someone got $1 million. We're talking about guys that have contracts that are mediocre players. Bertrand's on the all he does is shoot 3-pointers. He's a nice role player. The guy has like an $80 million contract for 4 years. This isn't like, oh, they're rich, right? And you're going to tell me, oh, the owner sat me before a game because he thought he was going to trade me, and then I had to worry if I'm going to get traded. Oh my God, you made $600,000 for one basketball game. Good luck getting sympathy on that. Good luck. Right? And people are lying. Oh, yeah, man, I really feel bad for him. He had to sit down. Oh, if he gets traded, he has to move to a new major city. Guess what? When you sign the contract, that's what it is. Get paid $20 million a year, but we can trade you. We can sit you when we want. We can do these things. That's why there's a contract. Guess what? About 99.9% of people in the world would go, you're going to pay me $20 million a year, right? You could tell me where to take a crap, right? You could remove my toilet from the house. I don't care. You could tell me that I can, only eat vegetables all day. $20 million a year? Where do I sign, please? That's my point. It's just really hard. And then you come out and you're like, yeah. It's like, okay. But the point is, a lot of these guys, they got paid since they were 19, 20, 21, and everyone's been, pampering them. They even get pampered in college, and good for them. But here's the thing, Skinner. A lot of times, you're right, they have mental issues. They have issues. I met a guy, he lives over here. He's a celebrity. I'm not going to say who he is. He's a celebrity. He wouldn't want anyone to know. He's a celebrity. He's pretty famous. He's not a ball player, though. And I've been around him a few times. And cool guy, smart guy, but he's used to getting all the attention. And I don't think it's his fault. He's famous. He's world famous. World famous. He's used to getting attention all the time. He's used to being the center of attention. Someone's like, oh, it's just like a prima donna. No, it's not. I don't know what that's like. My point is, though, here's the thing about a lot of those athletes. If they don't go into analyst, if they don't go into coaching, it's a hard fall from the top, bro. It's a hard fall. You go from the mountaintop to what's next, and you don't have something else to carry that void. I've heard that it's really hard. I said, we read that, Petty Betty, because he offered structure and discipline, offered the opposite. He went on to talk about great piano player he was. He hadn't seen him since high school. That's interesting. I would like to think my best years are ahead of me, but let's face it. It's your 20s, 30s. We are in our physical prime, but not in our emotional prime. Well, Donald, this is what I always say. Listen to this one. Write it down. I don't care. I'm 40, and I know you're like, oh, God, I wish I was 40 again. You're 55. I wouldn't trade my wisdom to be 20 again. If you tell me, oh, you can be 20 again, but you can take half my wisdom with me, half my knowledge with me, okay. If you told me, oh, I'd have to go back to 20 and be the person that didn't know what I know now, I don't know if I would do it. Pittsburgh PI. All right. Steelers fan? I've been to Coatesville, Pennsylvania before. I had an aunt that lived there before. I had a male friend called me up out of nowhere, and he said he walked past some girl and she smelt like me. I think that's more than a male friend. Dark Knight's getting motivational. No such thing as too late, bro. Hit the gym and everything starts to feel different. Trust me. It's a big deal to hit the gym. And I would say if you don't want to hit the gym, get a personal trainer if you can afford it. I did that 6-7 months ago. It's been life-changing. Totally different thing. I've always exercised. I always take care of myself. Get a coach. We don't look alike. I mean, I'm not manly at all, but it was familiar to him apparently. It doesn't mean you have to be man, but, sometimes people's eyes, I don't know. I mean, my sister and I looked alike, but female and male. People would always know that we were brother and sister. Petty Betty sounds like a male friend that wants to drop the friends only label. I'd agree, Rob. And I bet Petty Betty liked the attention. I also read an article where apparently, wow, you're a pretty serious reader. An article where apparently women should wear fruity mist because when men like sweeter, fruitier scents. I also read men are attracted to vanilla tones. Okay. They regret that contract, I get. Man, there's so many contracts that the NBA regrets. It's one of those things that really go ahead and pay these guys the money, but they shouldn't have 4 or 5 year contracts. It's messing up the league. I don't mind if you get paid. I don't mind if you get paid $20 million because you're getting a piece of the pie. You're getting the money that the NBA makes. Totally don't mind that. I don't feel sorry for you if someone sits you down or you get different things like that. But these 4 or 5 year deals where a team's locked up to a guy gets bought out for $30 million or $40 million and your team's gutted. It's not fair. It should be 1 or 2 year deals and a guy can get cut. You make that money, but you gotta perform for the next couple of years. It just messes up the league. And then you get these things, Skinner, where guys are getting bought out and then they get rewarded to go to the best team in the league. It's ridiculous. Thanks, DK. All I hear anymore is the gym is the answer to everything. It ain't. It's a fucking start, Donald. I would say it isn't the answer, but it's a start. It's a start. Here's one of those things, too. Especially if you're not doing it, right? But if you're still bitter and really upset, let's have a live coaching session, Donald, and unpack that. Get some clarity moving forward. You know, I'm not going to cure you of all your hurt, angst, or bitterness or whatever you have, but I'll help you get some clarity, maybe reframe this thing so you can move forward a little cleaner. But obviously you got something working for you if you had a younger woman that you quote unquote she's a babe. It's not the answer to everything, but it's a great step forward, absolutely. If he wears Axe, you want to hear something funny about Axe? No, I've said if he wears Axe, he's a fuck boy. What does that mean? Is that a positive or a negative? I remember when Axe first came out, and when I was, I don't know, like 21, 22, I lived in a house with a couple college roommates, a couple buddies of mine. We lived by the beach, so it wasn't like a dorm or something like that. But anyhow, one of my buddies, my mother had sent me like a little pack of stuff because I lived in San Diego. I was from the Bay Area, so she'd send me stuff sometimes. And she sent me Axe, right? And my friend saw it in my room and gave me shit about that for a week. You went and bought, because remember those commercials for Axe? I'm like, I don't even use it. My mom sent it. Made this big deal about it. It's hilarious. There is one cologne that I use now. I don't wear it every day, but it's my go-to. You got a go-to cologne? Dark Knight, Rob IS, brand new Skinner. You guys want to share since we're 2 hours deep here on a random live stream? Brandon's, damn, I'm curious now. Can you at least say his profession? You're bringing up some great points. Thanks, CD. Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson's a legend. Well, Skinner, if you ever do a live coaching session, I'll tell you. Win or miss might be cinnamon or similar. What are you asking about Woody Harrelson? Look, it's simple. You're 40 or over and want to date the hot 25-year-old. Guess what? You're going to have to perform and keep up. Hit the gym. Otherwise, you will settle with men. You're right, dude. You're right, Dark Knight. It's a choice. All types of Axe smell the same, so you know. That's funny. I know a 45-year-old that looks in his 40s, but he is fit and looks good, except that he lost his hair and his beard's gone white. I'm 25. I'd date him. He's probably healthier than I am. Nav, where are you out in the world, hun? Just curious. Well, a lot of women like older men. Remember, I was at a coffee shop recently, and there was an attractive woman there. I'd say she's maybe mid to late 20s. And I've seen her there multiple times having her coffee. She looks like she's coming out of yoga because she's got the yoga gear on and everything. And one day this guy came in. I would have never thought it was her boyfriend. The guy was a good 20 years older, and he had gray hair, and they were together. So I ain't performing for a damn. And I thought to myself, good for you, dude. I mean, good for them. I ain't performing for a damn woman. She needs to perform for me. What value is she adding to my life? She's 25, hot working at Walmart and renting. I don't think the great Dark Knight was talking about anything about someone working at Walmart and renting. So you're attributing job and rent status. You want to hear something interesting and tell me if this applies to your example, Donald? A lot of times when people give random examples, the examples are true in their own life. For example, you've actually met a woman that's hot at Walmart and that's renting. I fully agree. Exercise is important for well-being and spiritual. Random. A woman my age letting her hair down is genuinely innocent, lovely sight to see. CD, how old are you? Fuck boy means frat boy. Okay. Yeah, I like the tension. Haven't heard from him, but the point is, people remember your scent, so smell good. Well, I have a profession of my own house, and have wisdom, and all she brings is a beat. Good for you, Donald. Cool Water, Versace. Wow, Cool Water is really old, man. I remember that in high school. The one I like is very old, too. Cool Water, to me, is a bit strong, but to each their own. Oman. Wow. Wow. How is it over there right now? I like older guys. I actually met a guy here in Thailand that was in the Air Force for Canada. He was Canadian, and he lived in Oman for like 2 or 3 years training pilots. I use Axe. Maybe that's why I am an X. Febreze is better than Axe. Okay, like GoPro, Google search, I know you. I too like men that are older than me. Can't stand men my age. A lot of women in their mid to late 20s. Shit, man. I know looking back when I was in my mid 20s, I was pretty immature. There's a lot of guys now too in their early to mid 20s. And I think Dark Knight, you're kind of big on video game playing, so this isn't a shot at everyone playing video games, but they don't even date. I think in certain countries they're having a problem with reproduction because the guys they're into their video games, they're not into dating, and so a lot of the women are finding trouble finding mates. Say no to Axe. Drakkar. Wow, that's an old one. I had that one in high school. Oh, no. Wow. Elena P., have you been on the whole time? The one I use, it's funny because it's an old one, and I always have women like, what is that? What is that? I always get compliments on it, and I don't know how old it is. I could look it up right now. It's one of the oldest. It's been around. It's been around probably 30 years. Let's see. And now instead of buying multiple kinds, I only use that. Let's see. Drakkar Orange, Chanel Blue, Chanel Blue. I've had that as a gift. Oh my gosh. Do you have a little black book for real? Versace arrows too. Geez, don't be smelling like that next to me. I'll jump on you. Oh, Drakkar, they probably for sure. I know, bro, but change it up. I wore Drakkar at 15. I knew exactly what it was right away. Oh, man, that's so funny. I was born and raised there, but I'm Indian. Okay. The Dating Black Book by Carlos Exuma is full of secrets. That you told me. Aqua Velva is an old one. Yeah. That's like a drugstore cologne. Oh, that makes more sense. Okay, send the book too, please. Thank you. Yo, I smell like leather, cigarette, smoke, and Axe. I rock. Well, there's a type out there for everyone. I'm sure there's some women out there that would like that mix of leather, cigarette, smoke, and Axe. It's probably at a biker bar, though. CD's 26. Thank you for asking. I'm the team healer and an athlete. Also 5'2" with shoes. I get amped like a Pikachu. It can be hard to find lovers who enjoy limitless energy. I'm assuming you're a woman. Team healer and an athlete. I'm the team. What does team healer mean, CD? Where are you at in the world, CD? Skin bracer? I think one time I got canoe for a Christmas gift when I was like in my first year of high school. I mean Donald. I can't stand the smell of cigarettes. Yeah, I would say. Nah, I guess there's some people out there that don't mind it. Since I'm bored at this pandemic, I need the shock. I can't stand the smell of cigarettes. Team spiritual ASAP. Okay, this guy who comes into my job smells like he bathes in cologne. To top it off, it smells like leather car seat. Ew. No, I don't smoke cigarettes. Last month, the Russian girl offered me a cologne I have never seen before. It's called Killian Vodka on the Rocks. It smells great, but still not 100% sold on it. She absolutely devours it, though. Well, I mean, if she likes it, I guess that's a good suggestion. Here we had something called beaver canoe. Stop it. Stop it. Beaver canoe. I don't like going to the gym because I'm 6'3", 320, 55 years old, look like 40. All the women are always looking at me. Well, if that's the case, are you scared of women? Leather cigarette, smoking axe. I imagine a garage that smell like that for some reason. I don't butter people up. I build up my teammates. That's what it means to be the team healer. What's the game that you play though? What are you playing? And is this a woman or a man? I'm just curious now. A leather car seat, that should be legal. Yeah, beaver canoe was huge. It's Canadian legend. Oh God, that's such a funny name. And that's a cologne? Oh, no. 2 hours here on a Sunday. It's almost 2 p.m. Time to go on the hike. That's funny. Any closing questions? It's a clothing line. I didn't even say the cologne I like. I went on a date last weekend, then I went to his place, and it smells like rotten egg and socks. Well, sounds like he's single. He's got to get a cleaning lady if he doesn't want to clean his own place. Got purchased by Roots, which is also a Canadian store. They have some stores in the U.S. as well. That's everyday real life mail, by the way. I fight for my friends with my friends to build better communities in the States. Thank you for hosting. All right. Mac, did you say where you go to cologne is? My go-to cologne, dun 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 dun, is Obsession. Calvin Klein. Old school. It's actually kind of hard to find now, I think. And there was a woman that I was dating before that she was looking for it. She was like, I can't find it. I want that cologne. I was like, for you? She's like, I just love the smell. It's a nice scent. It's nice. Obsession, though, like I said, Obsession's got to be 30, 40 years old. Yo, Nav, yeah, you got a lot of value because you don't like cigarette smell. You go, girl. All you bring is your... Okay, Donald. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks for the donation. You're kind. I haven't tried it in years. Obsession stays on your clothes too long. I never spray cologne on my clothes too much. I always just do a couple neck shots. So I don't ever put on cologne like spritz, 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 spritz. I just put a couple spritz on my neck usually. That's what I was gonna guess. Really, you were gonna guess Obsession? Wow, that's pretty. Out of all the colognes, I knew all those ones before though when I was like in high school, but I never liked wearing a lot of cologne, and I certainly don't wear it a lot now. But if it's a special occasion, I do, and I always get compliments on that cologne. And I don't. The thing I like about Obsession is it's not. I don't like a strong scent that's too heavy. Coach Max smells like play cologne. What's play cologne mean? That's what I was going to get. Okay, Petty Betty. Nope, girl, I excuse myself. I said head spinning. Whatever you do, you never spray cologne down south. You'll live to regret it. Never done that. I went on a date and went back to his place, and it smells so bad I had to leave. It's one thing to be a little bit messy. It's another thing to have bad hygiene. I've been to some friends' houses that friends of friends or like guys that are bachelors, and I'm like, you could tell you haven't had a girl here in a while. It's like, if you don't like to clean, get a cleaning lady then. Get someone that comes and cleans your house. All right, folks. It's 2:11. Any closing questions? Playbacks, it says 111. Is that a good thing, Petty Betty? See? First experiences, Dark Knight, lead to your actions later on. Later, CD. My brother would use dye-free, scent-free laundry soap because he had expensive cologne. Yeah, I didn't spray it a lot on my clothes for sure. My brother would use dye-free. Okay. Yeah, I've always... You always have the Walmart references. Is there a Walmart close to you? Burn some incense sticks. I don't know if that... You know what people don't do a lot of, and I know I live in a warm climate area, and when I grew up, we didn't do this. Every day, one of the first things I do in the morning is open all the windows in my house. People are like, it's snowing outside. We can't do that. But it helps freshen up your house for sure. Windows are important. I've lived in apartments before where they didn't have a lot of windows, and I always thought, I'll never do that again. That attributes a lot to a smelly house, is that there's not good ventilation, and there's not a lot of windows. That's a big part of it. I guess there's no closing questions. We can call it curtains. As my water comes up there for a minute. Folks, it's been a pleasure. Petty Betty, I'm glad. No, we don't have Walmart here, thankfully. So smell good. Make sure your house smells good, too. My house is nice, yeah. My house smells good. Mac, are you? People ask me this all the time. No, I don't have a set time. I don't have a set schedule at this point. I keep saying I am. If I was to do it, it would probably be earlier. This is a Sunday for me. And so it's whenever the spirit moves me. Yeah, we don't reset the clocks here either. Great seeing you guys. Thank you, Mac. Dark Knight, always a pleasure. I hope Cypress is treating you well, bud. Donald, welcome anytime. Petty Betty, always a favorite. Jenny Jen, thanks for the donation. Thanks for chiming in today, too. Rob IS, always a pleasure. My friend, Guardian at the Gate. CD, thanks for being a time healer. Is that what it is? Time healer and a spark plug at 5.2. Good for you. All right, folks, it's curtains.